We're also recording. No problem.
या तो हम रहने दो रहने दो
All right. Hello, everyone. I hope that you're doing well. My name is Dr. Jessica Albrent, and some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm an assistant professor here at LUMS. And I'm really excited to announce our speaker today. This is Mr. Altaf Muhammad Saleem, and he's the managing trustee of Crescent Educational Trust. And from our discussion today, I didn't realize he's also one of the original board members. Is that correct?
Founders,
The
founder
founders
members.
of the very university in which you are standing right now. So we would not be here, this program would not be here without this gentleman's support and encouragement, intellectual contributions at our very roots and very beginning. And much like, Saeed Babar Ali, who founded our school, he has a deep passion for education, a deep care for education. And today, he's going to share with us his practical experience. It's one thing to study schools from a classroom, and it's a completely other thing to run it in the real world. And so we're very excited to hear some of his own insights and ideas. He will share, he's got his own presentation, so I don't have to do much work in my moderation, but he will share his ideas, and he's also leaving some time for questions. So really take this time to, I encourage you as students to connect the theories and ideas that you've been reading about, learning about, with the very real practice that he's discussing today. All right? Please give a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you can start however you like.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to all of you. Before I start, I would like to ask you, why are you in this program, generally in MPhil program? What is your objective of taking this qualification? Anyone? Are you guys planning to do something for the schools after you qualify, or you want to do some research work, or you are doing this program to get into a specific profession? I see. Okay. Because in one of your programs, we had 11 people participated in this MPhil program from our school in the very early stages. And we sent them in this program so that we could groom some of them for school leadership positions in the future. Because generally in Pakistan, we have schools, we have got teachers, but we do not have school leaders, school managers, and you can't get them. And that is one of the main reasons that the schools don't do very well in what they are generally doing. This school that I am looking after, I actually bring a background track record of raising 4 different organizations in my lifetime, raising and running. First one was the family business, to which we were used to. We had all the templates, we had most of the procedures available to us. It runs in our family, so it was not that difficult. So I spent first 25 years doing this. And then for 11 years, I went to the government as a volunteer and pro bono, and I raised 3 organizations in the government. One was NAVTEC, which was National Technical Education Commission. And then I managed the earthquake reconstruction program for 5 years. And this, I had no experience of earthquakes, luckily. But this operation was on an area which was as big as Switzerland. And it was from sea level up to about 8,000 feet heights. And the earthquake happened in the month of October. And in 1 month time, we had severe winters, and 3.5 million people were homeless. And we had to, manage this disaster. And the lesson that we got out of this disaster was that disasters can be avoided, but they can never be managed. So you have to actually take preventive measures all the time, that you don't have this kind of disaster. So there are some things which are not manageable at all, come what may. And we now are facing a similar situation in the education sector, in the school education sector. We keep on saying that we are improving, and in this 27 million students are out of school, and now we are going to bring them back to the school. But out of those 27 million people, there are many who are 14 years old, 16 years old now. And now if you want to take them back to a school, which school will you take them back to? You can't make them sit with class 1 or class 2 or class 3 or 4 students. And there's no infrastructure available to deal with them. And the number is increasing. So this is a very unmanageable kind of a disaster that we are facing, but we don't realize. The school we are going to talk about today, please don't take it as an advertisement, but I am just telling all the good and bad things of this school to you. This school was established in 1968. And the trust that established this school was formed in 1961. And 4 businessmen who were brothers actually donated 10% of their wealth, whatever it was at that time, for this school. And the trust deed says only one, it is only in one line. It says that we want to actually establish a first-class school in Lahore, which will be operated on the principle of need blind and merit-based. And anybody who gets in does not have to worry about the fee. They will only pay whatever they can afford to pay. At that time, these Beacon House and City School and Lahore Grammar School, these schools did not exist. Lahore had only 3 reasonable schools. For girls, we had this convent school, Queen Mary College, and they also had a school with it. And HSN College, Crescent, and we had Central Model School. And that was the end of it. So this was established at that time. This started as a school with 300 kids in a purpose-built campus. But while the campus was being built, the classes were held in Qaddafi Stadium because, now you see shops there in the stadium. So those were converted into a temporary classroom. And the classes were held there. In 1968, they moved to this campus. In last 57 years or so, now we have our 5th principal who's running the school. So there's a lot of retention of staff. So but 1 or 2 things did not go right, because when you establish a school, unlike businesses or corporations, You have well-defined corporate structures, organizational structures, and you have strategy, and you have planning, and you have competitors. In this field, there were no competitors, there was no planning. And the strategy was one and a half line that we will get these students on merit, and then we'll try to change the fate of their families ultimately, so that families can go into the next level of living, or get out of the present situation. Because mostly people with very meager resources came to the school. So this 600 student school and its organization structure was, I think, this is a present situation that you are seeing, but this is 2014 when I actually came there. So this had gone from 600 to 4,160 students on the same organizational structure, same hierarchy, and but the results were generally very good. This became very quickly the top school in Lahore in terms of academic things. But it, this absence of a proper organizational structure started showing its effect on the functioning of the school. And gradually, it was running on its momentum, but slowly the standards were going down. And people who established the school, they thought they have a very good principal and they have a very good staff, and it will keep on running, and we will look after our business, and once or twice a year we'll have a board meeting and look at them, and that's enough. So it took a long time to detect what was going on, and what was actually, nobody went and studied the reasons for this decline. I finished my job with the government in 2011, and I decided that I will not go back to for-profit work, and I was working with other organizations also which were not for profit. So my family said that, why don't you spend some time with the school? I had no experience of running a school or of managing a school. And I didn't have any experience of earthquake also, but I was able to do it. So they thought that maybe I will be able to do this work also. So then I came there. And if you see that it went from, let's say, 600 students to 4,000 students in about 16 years' time, from 1968 to 2014. So in the next 10, 11 years, in terms of number of students, we went from 4,000 to 10,500 students. But at the same time, a lot of things were done regarding, for example, the first thing I did was I changed the organization chart of that institution. And slide इधर से हो गई है दूसरी है ना ये आ गई है चल. This was the original organizational chart. So we had the board, which met maybe, it consisted of 9 trustees, but maybe met once, twice a year without any regularity. One of those 9 members was the secretary of the trust. Then we had one principal and headmaster, headmistresses, whatever. And this was running a 4,000 student school with 2 campuses. One was girls' campus, which had 1,000 students, and this boys' campus had 3,000 students. And the school is right from early years, and it goes up to A level and FSC in college side. So these were the 2 streams. So this was the new organizational structure that we brought in to run at that time 4,000 student school. And suddenly the things started getting better because we filled the gaps that were there. And because we were merit-based and need-blind, earlier many people who qualified were being not admitted. So, because the infrastructure did not have space. So this was just like PTCL when, people had to wait for 20 years to get a line. So there were people who were ready to have telephone connections, and the company was profitable, and they were rejecting customers. So this is exactly what we were also doing in the school at that time. So we decided that we are not going to send back people who qualify. We just improved the infrastructure around it, and started and and very rapidly, if you see, in about 12 years time, we the student body was 2.5 times of what it was in 2014. We voluntarily also went for our audit of our governance quality, and we at that now it has become mandatory for not-for-profit to do it, but we actually started it voluntarily, and we stood at about 76% marks, and then we last in this happens every 3 years, and last time we were 96% on the uh, scale, because the governance improved a lot during this time. Now, another problem with Pakistan is that, in my opinion, we need to redefine what a school is. We are still working with the old definition. And I actually, with your dean, I also had a lot of conversation. We are actually engaging them that what should be a definition of a new school, because with these changing times, changing circumstances, now we are preparing a student who will be in the job market 20, 25 years after he starts our school. And no one knows what is going to happen at that time. So there are certain skills that need to be brought into the equation. So we started working on that. You always hear that now the world is a global village and everybody is part of the rest of the world. But in Pakistan, we hardly teach only English as a language medium of instruction, and little bit of Urdu, and there's nothing else. So we decided that if we are going to be a global village, in our school from class 2, we have 3 compulsory languages, and they have to choose one out of those 3. So we teach Mandarin, French, and German. And all these languages have actually the same curriculum that is in the respective countries for a particular class. And they actually study the language for 8 years. And they get all the certifications, and all the examinations of language are international. French hold the French language examination, Germans hold there, and the Confucius Institute in Pakistan, the university, they actually do the Mandarin tests. And the papers go to China to be checked. So this is quality language program. So this was one step that we took, that we will give some international flavor to our students. Then here you have this matriculation stream, and you have AO level, etc., which is very expensive. Many people can't afford it also. We actually converted our school to a international baccalaureate school. This happened 3 years ago. We started working on it 5, 6 years ago, but 3 years ago, it is converted up to primary level, which is class 5. And from now onwards, we also have the next course, which is MYP, which is called the middle year program. And then we have diploma program, which is equivalent to A-level, etc. So the school became the world's largest IB school when we established, and the number of IB students in Pakistan doubled with our school getting into the IB program, because our students are as much as 50% of the total students in Pakistan. This was another line that we picked up to make this school a better and more meaningful school. And this was part of redefining that we were doing with our little knowledge that we had about redefining. Then we have, within the school, we have a school of art and culture, we have a school of music, we have a school of for girls we have a finishing school, for boys we have a gentleman's league, and a mannerism curriculum which we brought internationally and Pakistanized it also at the same time, is run regularly in the school, so that the grooming of our students also takes place, and then when they go into their real life, they are equipped and they are equal to students who are coming from families with better resources in terms of mannerism, in terms of how to eat, how to dress, how to talk to people. So this program we brought from England. There's a diplomatic institute there which has a curriculum, and we modified the curriculum, and our students actually, they are compulsory classes for these activities also. We give a lot of attention to sports in our school. One of the leading tennis players for Pakistan, Isamul Haq, is our student originally. Right now our two students are in the cricket camp for World Cup preparation. They have been selected. One of our students is the captain of under 19 hockey team, national hockey team, who won the trophy in, I think, Kuala Lumpur last year. So they excel in these fields also. Now in the school, the second biggest problem was that in Pakistan, mostly the teachers are accidental teachers. People graduate, then they are waiting to get married or do something else. They just go and take a job in a school, because parents also think that it's a respectable job and good environment, and they get there. So they know how to learn, but they don't know how to teach to start with. And no one wants to spend money on producing teachers or having training programs. And there are not many good teacher training facilities or teacher training programs available in the country. And the third problem is that they don't select this field also, because now the respect is also not to the level it used to be. Better paying schools are generally high fee schools, but they are commercial ventures. And the owners think that always the parents are right. So teachers have a very big handicap. They cannot have discipline in the class. And the parents are always ready to, take the kid out and threaten the schools that will take away our kid if you don't do this. Education level also has gone down in good schools because of this. There's a lot of competition, and they are actually snatching each other's students at any cost, and the discipline actually becomes the main casualty, and indirectly the teacher also becomes a casualty. If you compare the salary of a teacher in our schools, generally in the expensive schools, the any receptionist in a bank or in any commercial organization gets twice the salary of a teacher in a reasonable school right now. So they are first of all not trained. Secondly, they are not well paid. Thirdly, they are not kind of respected as they should be. So there's very little incentive to become a teacher. So another thing that we did in this school in 2012 straight away was that we established an on-campus teacher training facility. And for teacher training programs, we collaborated with a university in Scotland, which is Strathclyde University. It is 300 years old. They have a very good school of education. We co-constructed some programs with them. They were our teachers, or our senior teachers were there. They had their faculty there. They have experience of constructing these programs. And then we got their faculty here to train our teachers twice a year. We sent 8 of our teachers to do a master's in various fields of education from that university to actually build our strength, academic strength in the school. So all these things actually have worked for us, and that is why we have been able to expand the school and also raise the quality of education in our institution. These, now lately, there are even hurdles in these things, but now the faculty does not want to come to Pakistan because of obvious reasons. In between, once one of our batch was there getting to get education in Scotland, and Pakistan went short of dollars, and our students had reached there, and the State Bank actually refused to pay the amount that we were trying to pay to the university. So we were in a very embarrassing situation, and but the university trusted us, and we were able to pay a year late. But then you have a fear that you don't take this type of a risk, because you are never sure that you register someone in the program, and the funds will also be, we will be allowed to actually send the funds abroad. So this type of problems are there, but we spend a large amount of money on training. We have now local people also trained from there, and our own trainers are training. Our training center runs throughout the year almost. And we have a large number of teachers who have been now trained. We, being a not-for-profit school, are always short of money relatively, because we are doing all the things, but we are not generating a surplus. Now, economic situation is bad, so our donors are also not able to donate what they were able to donate earlier. And now when we train teachers, these schools come and pick one of them up, and they pay him 2 or 3 times the salary that we are paying. And we have already spent so much money on the training, so that money just goes waste. But our school always takes a position that at least it is going to education. If it's not coming through our institution, it comes through some other institution. But as long as a teacher goes to another educational institution, we are fine with that. We don't really mind that to that extent. It's a loss for us, but it remains within the country in any case. So these are some of the challenges that we face. Now, I actually think that good universities in Pakistan should produce people who are school leaders, school managers, and who also have a research background in education. Because in education, the research is very also limited within the Pakistani context. Last time I was here, there was a conference going on, some research papers were being presented. Government of Pakistan initiated an automatic system of transfers of teachers because they have teachers in urban areas, rural areas, various cities. So it used to take a long time if some teacher, due to some reason, was moving from one city to the other city. And the result that was presented here of that automatic transfer system was that the rural schools became short of teachers and urban schools had a large number of teachers who were just sitting because there was no teachers vacancy there. So even this reform had negative impact on the education system. So about teachers, schools are now having a conversation that we should have some kind of a licensing for teachers. And the government should set up an authority which will license the teacher. My point of view is that we are giving this authority to someone who can't run their own schools. And if teachers are also licensed by the government of Pakistan, it will be just like taking a driving license, which the police actually gives you the driving license. Once I was in Canada and I was talking to those people there, and I wanted to have I was visiting and I wanted to drive car there, and the license was required. And they told me that in Canada, the driving license is issued by the insurance companies. So I was a bit surprised by insurance companies. They said because if there are bad drivers, there will be more accidents and there'll be more liability on the insurance companies. So in their environment, the relevant authority gives the licensing, which gets affected by bad licensing also. Now here, if the government starts licensing, the licenses will be given on political grounds. So bad teachers who are not teachers at all will be licensed, and the good ones will not get the license. They won't be able to get a job. The education sector does not even know now what kind of environment we want, what kind of environment we need to create, and what should be the strategy of the sector. And the main reason is that the education is divided into three things. Three type of schools, for example. There are some not-for-profit schools, so nobody listens to them. Then we have these for-profit schools. They don't listen to anyone. So they do what they want to do because they have money and they can get away with murder, basically. Then we have government schools who don't want to do anything. So the entire system is in shambles that way. Last 2 months ago, I think, I was at a conference here which the Punjab Higher Education Commission had convened, and there were 35 vice chancellors in the conference. So I was also a guest speaker for a small speech there, and I asked only one question. I said, how many of you actually speak to the schools? So there was silence. And they were looking at their tables and here and there, but nobody said that we actually talk to the schools. And my next question was, what will the universities do if there are no schools? There was again another silence. And I said, in businesses, if we don't talk to our supply chain, we die within a few months. So I believe that the school is your supply chain. So अब हुआ यही है कि actually the universities are dying. Already people think that most universities are irrelevant. This piece of paper that they call a degree does not get them a job. They are not talking to the school what type of students they actually need for their university. But they keep on blaming that, when the student comes to us from a school, we have to first 2-3 year work on him to make him university-able. कि वो यूनिवर्सिटी के काबिल ही नहीं होते. But they don't want to talk to us and actually co-construct a program through which we produce students to their standards and they then can use them well. This is another problem, and this is having an effect on the universities now. LUMS like universities are very few. There's one Habib University in Karachi. Here we have LUMS. There'll be 2, 3, 4 more good universities. But the rest of the universities, this year, Punjab University had a decline in applicants of students. Qaid-e-Azam University, Islamabad, had lesser applications than last year. And many universities are closing down some programs because they don't have faculty for those subjects, right? Psychology, this, that, okay, this is useless, we are shutting down. This is what is happening in that sector. So this is an overall picture. I don't want to discourage you, but we need to have a reality check that what is happening. That's why my first question was that you are in this very good program. Maybe your best option can be that if you people of this program can produce people who can address these issues and a management structure for the schools becomes available. LUMS is producing, when we established LUMS, we were few businessmen and we all the time used to complain that we don't get good managers and we didn't start with this program, the humanities program, we started with a MBA program. In our first batch, we had, I think, 24 students. And the next batch was 46 or something. So this was a 46 or 100 student university at that time. And a few years later, we thought that actually some schools are producing students, colleges are destroying them, and then in the university we are again उनको कर रहे हैं उसको upgrade. तो एक डिस्ट्रक्शन का फेज था बीच में. तो अब और ज़्यादा हो गया. Now we are actually destroying the students in the school also. And we have no capacity to make up the damage done in the university or in the colleges. The problem has become more serious. So the main requirement is, like we have MBAs who are business specialists, we need to have school specialists being produced in good universities. And the School of Education here can collaborate with the business school, because there are many management issues which are common, which will be common to a managerial position in a school. In the schools, actually, it's impossible to get, we are a school with 10,500 students. about 1,000 staff. We have 800 teaching staff, and we have 200 support staff. So we need a lot of managers there. But they have to be managers with a touch of a school manager, basically, because you are dealing with different type of people. When you're dealing with teachers, and in businesses you are dealing with office workers, there's a lot of difference between the two. So in every field you have to have different type of managers. For example, the same manager who can deal with office workers cannot deal with the nurse or medical staff. Similarly with the school staff, there are differences. So we need even specialized managerial staff in the school. So School of Education has to look after this aspect also. So we are not talking to the school all the time. They have their 1 or 2 projects from our side, and they are looking at our school, and they are looking at what is happening. But as students, I think आपने किसी ने भी ये नहीं कहा कि हमने जाके किसी स्कूल को सही करना है आफ्टर हम MPhil या PhD या जो भी करेंगे उसके बाद. तो मैं इस पे वंडर कर रहा था कि ये कहाँ से ये शुरू होगा, बिकॉज मैं तो I'm really worried about this situation. Okay, I see everything what is going on and what kind of problems we are facing in the schools. तो ये आई थिंक ये एस्पेक्ट्स हैं उसके देखने वाले. मेरा ख्याल था अगर आप कुछ क्वेश्चन तो वो भी ले लेते हैं, कुछ बैलेंस चीज़ होगी तो मैं उसके बाद भी कर लूँ, सो दैट वी फिनिश ऑन टाइम. So I don't want to keep on speaking, but frankly कुछ भी पूछें, whatever type of question, या कुछ आपको इसमें से बात लगती है ऐसी कि this doesn't make sense, तो we can have a discussion on that कि ये if it doesn't make sense, why it doesn't make sense, या और कौन सी चीज़ है जो I have not been able to explain. So please go ahead, someone जो भी है
Just a
करें.
minute. Yeah. Thank you so much for this. I think you've talked about when you came into the school, some of the problems you encountered that I think are perennial problems or evergreen problems. Missing evidence and monitoring systems for monitoring and evaluation for the school, and a governance system that inhibits growth. And development as well. And these are things that you addressed. And I thought one thing that was really interesting you said was that you sort of had to define what it meant to be a school. And the reason why I touched on that was one of our core courses. So if you are in your second year of the program, you've had this course, probably likely with me. If you are in the first year of your program, you'll have it next semester on school effectiveness and development. And the one thing that I ask my students to do throughout the entire semester, and they do it over and over and over again, is to define an effective school. When you, as a researcher, go into a school, how do you know it's effective? What metrics do you look for? What measurements can you take? What can you observe? What do you see? So in your experience and in your work of defining a school, I'd like to ask, what do you think of when you think of an effective school?
For example, in generally the schools, everything is measured in what kind of numbers a student produces in the examinations. We think that that is actually besides the point. If you start measuring them on that, and you don't look at various attributes that a human being should have. So we also have a set of attributes that we have already defined. And within the schools, we have platforms which work on, for example, empathy, humility, for example, bravery, for example. We have a different definition of bravery. It's not that how you can fight with people and you're brave and you can fight. But bravery we define as how much guts you have to accept your own mistake instead of laying the blame on other people that this happened because he or she said that or she did that. So we have about 6 attributes that we work on. Within the school, we have teacher centers where the teachers, in fact, sit down and an English teacher would actually connect the English language program with physics also and with mathematics also. So we have 2 years ago we have actually we have made this teacher centers where this thing happens. We have made platforms where we work on sustainability, for example. The other attributes that I was talking about, we have those things there. And secondly, we have specialized schools within the school because we think a student should do which actually aligns with his own interests. If someone can excel in music, so they should actually pursue music, and we provide them that facility. Our school has been Pakistan champion in music for last 4 years consecutively. But in music, we have classical music, we have other music, we have instrumental music, and we, in mind games, for example, 2,000 students in our school play chess. And one of our girls is national silver medal holder of chess. To me, people always told me that the girls, this is not girls' game. And I always tell them this is everybody's game. Archery, for example. We introduced archery and everyone said that we'll introduce only in the boys' campus. I said, it will go into the girls' campus also. So our girls actually beat the boys, and now the girls are Punjab archery champions. It doesn't say much because there are not many girls in archery in any case. But still, when they see our girls, it is now happening and they are doing it. So, redefinition means that, for example, we have to finish this difference between what boys are going to do and what girls are going to do. Everything that our boys do, our girls also have the same things in the school. For a very long time, we did not have swimming, but now we have a swimming pool only in our boys' campus. There's no swimming pool in the girls' campus. But now we've reserved that pool for the girls 2 days in a week. So they come and they have their swimming coaching there. But redefining generally means that when we are talking of our students should have humility and it should be taught in the school. So that if they are not better human beings, it doesn't matter if they are very good students, that they're getting a lot of marks or distinctions or this and that. So you have to be in the first phase, you have to be good human beings basically. But we kept on talking that ये अच्छा इंसान बनाना है, but वो डिफाइन नहीं किया था कि अच्छा इंसान की डेफिनेशन कैसी है. जैसे स्कूल की डेफिनेशन नहीं है ना, अच्छे इंसान की भी डेफिनेशन. हमने फिर वो एट्रीब्यूट्स पिक करके हमने कहा इन एट्रीब्यूट्स पे वो कहाँ प्लेस होता है. ह्यूमिलिटी में वो किधर स्टैंड करता है, उसमें क्या कमी है, उसको किस तरह से आगे लाना है, या एम्पैथी में किधर स्टैंड करता है. We have a 3-month interview of admissions for our early years program. It starts in November and our program actually starts in April. So there are so many candidates that we are sitting and we are talking to their parents and we are actually looking at these students. Sometimes I also go around and ask, and I always ask the parents that what cause do you support? Generally, is there any cause that you support? So then they ask me, what is a cause? I said, for example, do you support ये जो special children का cause को, या blind, visually impaired? Okay. No, if some of our servant gets sick, we get them medicine. But that you have to. So then we get to a conclusion that they are not actually learning to be better human beings at home, which used to happen when, you had joint families and grandmother was there and some elders were also there in the same house. So कुछ ना कुछ बेहतर था, but now it is disappeared. वो पेरेंट को कॉज का नहीं पता क्या करना है. वो कहते हैं ये बीमार हो गया, उसको हमने डॉक्टर को दिखाया था अपने बंदे को. तो फिर वी गेट वरीड कि ये फिर बच्चों को तो कुछ नहीं पता. तो ये हमारा इतना लंबा प्रोसीजर होता है एडमिशन का, बिकॉज देयर आर सो मेनी पीपल एंड देयर आर सो मेनी इंटरव्यूज गोइंग ऑन, और वी कीप आस्किंग दिस क्वेश्चन, और मेजॉरिटी कोई नहीं पता. और वो पेरेंट्स एजुकेटेड हैं, कोई सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्री में काम कर रहा है, कोई यंग पेरेंट्स हैं, क्योंकि अर्ली ईयर्स में दीज पेरेंट्स आर यंग, उनका पहला बच्चा होता है, दूसरा होता है, और वो दे डोंट नो अबाउट दीज थिंग्स. So then we created parent academies in the school. न्यूट्रिशन पे academies हैं हमारे यहाँ, स्पोर्ट्स की न्यूट्रिशन पे और इंजरी रिलेटेड सब्जेक्ट्स के लिए हमारे academies हैं, एम्पैथी की academy है. तो we actually invite parents, we invite speakers, we talk to them, we run these academies, various parent academies. Now actually more parents are coming to the academies. Maybe they find it useful. They come, they attend the academy, and then they can actually print out their own certificate of participation, and then they frame it and put it in their home. So this actually encourages them to do that. So when we are running a school, actually we are running a school for teachers, because we run a teacher training center. We are running a school to train the parents, तो उसका सेशन है. फिर स्टूडेंट्स को तो हमने ट्रेन करना ही है, उसका है. फिर हमारा वो बाकी जो दूसरा स्टाफ है, we have to actually train them also. हमारे last year, this year, we normally have a free flu injection to our entire staff, because they deal with children. So it is हमारे 3 million rupees के annually ये flu के injections लगते हैं staff को. So 4 days ago we had a science mela in our school. This is done by your former dean, Sabi, dean of engineering, school of engineering. He's also our student originally. He studied from our school. So there was some girls, हमारी गर्ल्स ने भी लगाया हुआ था वो स्टॉल वगैरह. तो मैंने पूछा कि how many of you have had flu vaccination, because we send a letter to the parents that September में हम कहते हैं flu लगा. एक लड़की ने हाथ उठाया. मैंने कहा your father is a doctor. उसने कहा yes. No one else. So now we have to actually look after this aspect of their health safety also from that point of view. So जब मैं कहता हूँ ना redefining a school, मैं ये कह रहा होता हूँ कि हमें as a school वो उनके पेरेंट्स को एजुकेट करना है, उनके पेरेंट्स को हेल्थ एस्पेक्ट्स पे एजुकेट करना है, न्यूट्रिशन पे एजुकेट करना है, बीइंग अ गुड रिस्पॉन्सिबल सिटीजन पे एजुकेट करना है, ताकि वो हमारे स्टूडेंट भी एजुकेट. तो हमारा फिर बहुत ज़्यादा स्प्रेड है. एक अच्छे स्कूल का फिर स्प्रेड बहुत बड़ा है. और दिस इज़ व्हाट actually needs to happen in the entire school system, तब सोसाइटी ठीक होगी. एक स्कूल कुछ नहीं कर सकता सोसाइटी का. तो बल्कि हम जब ये करते हैं ना, तो other schools actually frown at us. वो कहते हैं you make us look bad. We have no friends generally because they hate us because of this. वो कहते हैं तुम हमारा काम मुश्किल करते हो. तो चले, we don't mind being hated, but मगर ये these are the issues जिसके ऊपर I don't know how to go about it basically, how to scale it up. how to broad base it. میں صرف آپ کا ایکسپیرینس, آپ لوگ ینگ لوگ ہیں تو آئی ایم شیئر اس لیے کر رہا ہوں کہ مے بی یو کین ایڈوائز اس واٹ کین بی ڈن اباؤٹ, اس کے لیے کیا میتھڈ ہونا چاہیے اس چیز کو براڈ بیس کرنے کے لیے. بیکاز دیر از سو مچ ٹو ڈو. اگر آپ آگے دیکھیں نا کہ اتنے گیپ ہیں, اور ہم اینڈ اپ کرتے ہیں اسیسمنٹ کے اوپر. ابھی ناؤ آئی ٹیل یو اے اسٹوری آف اسیسمنٹس آلسو. During the recent financial crisis with this inflation, etc., we had a large transfer of students from high fee schools towards our schools for admission. So they brought their result sheets with them to our school. For example, class 5 ka student hai. Sometimes we have very little vacancies. We generally admit in early years, and then we fill up the gaps. Sometimes people get transferred to different cities, etc., in the higher classes like 5th and 6th class or so. So they brought their exam results, and when they sat in our admission test, they were 20-30% below the results that they were showing in their اسکول ایگزام جو شیٹس بھی تھی, مارکس شیٹس یا کیا کہتے ہیں اس کو. آئی واز لٹل بٹ شاکڈ کہ یہ اتنے اچھے اسکول سے آ رہے ہیں تو یہ رزلٹ ہے. وہ ہم نے دیکھا تو وہ وی آلسو ہیو سم ٹیچرز ہو ہیو کم فرام دوز اسکول ٹو آور اسکول, دے آر ورکنگ ود اس. انہوں نے کہا سر وہاں ہم وہ 20-25% زیادہ مارکس دینے ہوتے ہیں تاکہ پیرنٹ ٹیچر میٹنگ میں نہ آئیں اور وہ خوش رہیں, so that parents are happy, the marks are good, and they then don't come to the parent teacher meetings and create a fuss here. These are good schools. جو chains ہیں وہ یہ کیا کر رہی ہیں. تو پھر وہ رزلٹ بھی جو ہے نا وہ ریپریزنٹیٹیو اور ٹروتھ نہیں ہے ایکچولی. تو ہم سمجھ رہے ہیں یہ بہت اچھا ہو رہا ہے اور وہ اس سے کہیں نچلے لیول پہ ہو رہا ہے. تو یہ ایشوز ہیں. میرا ایک گرینڈ سن جاتا ہے ایچسن کالج. My son wanted him to go to Crescent, and his wife wanted to take him to HSN. کیونکہ وہ ذرا HSN سے ذرا عزت بڑھ جاتی ہے باقی سوسائٹی میں, کیونکہ ہمارا اسکول جو ہے ایکچولی وی آر چلڈرن آف لیسر گاڈ بیسیکلی. تو میں نے اس کو کہا دس بیٹل از ناٹ ورتھ دا ٹربل, یو ایکچولی سرینڈر, اور جو وہ کہنا چاہتی ہے وہی کرو. اس نے کہا نہیں. میں نے کہا اچھا اس کو ٹیسٹ دلا دو, نہ ہو سکتا ہے وہ فیل ہو جائے تو تمہارے اوپر الزام ہی نہیں آئے گا. پھر وہ ٹیسٹ پاس کر گیا. پھر میں نے کہا اچھا داخل کرانا آسان ہوتا ہے اس وقت, نکالنا آسان ہے, داخل تو مشکل سے ہوتا ہے نا, تو اب ہو جائے گا. اف یو ڈونٹ لائک اٹ تو بعد میں یو withdraw him from there. تو اب now he is in class 8, he went there in class 2. اس کا 2 months ago اس کا بھی فی کا بل آیا 3 مہینے کا, 313,005 روپیز. تو میں نے کہا 5 روپیز. اس نے کہا ایکچولی ہی واز ناٹ فیلنگ ویل, وی گیو ہم اے ٹیبلٹ فار نوزیا. دس از اے اسکول. ایک اس کا اسٹوڈنٹ جس کو ہم کہتے ہیں وہ بچہ ہے ہمارا اور ٹیچر اس کے ماں باپ ہیں, اس کو نوزیا ہو گیا اسکول میں, 5 روپے کی ٹیبلٹ دی ہے, اس کا بل بھیجا ہے. یہ اچھا آئی ایم شیور بیچارے پرنسپل وغیرہ کو پتہ بھی نہیں ہوگا, کوئی کہیں نیچے سسٹم میں کوئی فلا ہوگا, تو وہ اس کے ساتھ ہوا ہے. تو میں آپ کو ریئلٹیز بتا رہا ہوں. میں آئی ایم ناٹ ایکچولی ٹرائنگ ٹو پٹ سم ون ڈاؤن اور سم تھنگ. میرا اپنا وہاں جاتا ہے, گرینڈ سن جاتا ہے, دیر از اے لاٹ آف گڈ تھنگز اباؤٹ اٹ. اب لکیلی یہاں سے پرنسپل گئے ہیں وہاں, اینڈ آئی ایم شیور تھنگز ول امپروو اے لاٹ, بٹ دس از واٹ ہیپنس. تو ایک ہمارے سامنے آ گیا, باقی اور کیا ہوتا ہوگا. تو ٹیچرس اور یہ اسکولس اینڈ پیرنٹس آر ایٹ وار. پھر چلڈرن تھنک دیٹ یہ ٹیچر جو ہے وہ از آلویز رانگ, اور ان کے پیرنٹ ان کو سپورٹ کرتے ہیں اور ان کے ٹیچروں کو بھی چپ رہنا پڑتا ہے. تو یہ ہے اسٹیٹ آف افیئرس. تو چیلنج بہت بڑا ہے, مقابلہ سخت ہے اور وقت کم ہے, کیونکہ ایوری ایئر جو ہم جتنا گیپ کریٹ کرتے ہیں نا ہم اور پیچھے ہو جاتے ہیں. ابھی ہمارے دس ایئر فار آئی بی کی کانفرنس تھی ایمسٹرڈیم میں, they were having a conference in Amsterdam. So one of our, we said 4 people went from our school. تو ون آف دم ہیز کم بیک, باقی 3 آگے اسٹریٹ کلائڈ میں گئے ہوئے ہیں میٹنگ کے لیے. تو اس نے مجھے بریف کیا, تو میں نے کہا ہاؤ مینی پیپل فرام انڈیا. اس نے کہا اٹ واز لائک اے پروسیشن تھا, جتنے آدمی تھے اور دے ور 1600 پارٹیسپینٹس فرام آل اوور دا ورلڈ. تو میں نے کہا پاکستان تھے؟ اس نے کہا 4 ہم تھے اور 2 اور کسی اسکولوں کے تھے, 6 لوگ. انڈیا کا جلوس, دنیا سے 1600, یہ 5ویں بڑی پاپولیشن والی کنٹری سے ایک اسکول سے 4 لوگ اور ایک اسکول سے 2 لوگ, کسی ایک نہیں, باقی سب سے ملا کے 2. پھر ہم یہ بھی کرنا چاہتے ہیں, وی ڈونٹ وانٹ ٹو گو, وی ڈونٹ وانٹ ٹو لرن, وی ڈونٹ وانٹ ٹو سینڈ اینی باڈی دیئر. تو ہم امپروو کیسے کریں گے, یہ ایشوز ہیں. تو آئی تھنک اس سیکٹر کے بہت بڑے بڑے ایشوز ہیں, اور لکیلی لمز میں اسکول آف ایجوکیشن موجود ہے. جیسے لمز نے بہت سارے اور ایشوز, میرے خیال میں ان میں کافی ہیلپ کی ہے, ان کی کنٹریبیوشن ہے. ہمارے لوگ اچھی اچھی جگہ پہ جا کے اچھا پرفارم کرتے ہیں یہاں کے. تو آپ لوگ لکی ہیں کہ آپ یہ اس قسم کے کورس میں بیٹھے ہوئے ہیں, اور آپ اس ساری چیز کو ذہن میں رکھ کے آپ اپنے کورس میں کوئی جو آپ کو پڑھا رہے ہیں ان کے ساتھ, if you think these things need to be addressed, I think if you speak out it will be good, because ان کو بھی ڈیٹا چاہیے نا کہ کیا کرنا ہے ہم نے. تو ہم تو ان کے ساتھ اسی طرح انگیج کر رہے ہیں فرام دا اسکول سائڈ آف اٹ. تو آپ اپنے فیوچر کی سائڈ سے دیکھیں, کیونکہ بہت بڑی اپرچونٹی ہے. اب یہ جو سب سے بڑی اپرچونٹی آئی تھنک ان پاکستان ان دا ایجوکیشن سیکٹر, ایجوکیشن سیکٹر میں, یہ سب اے آئی کے پیچھے بھاگتے ہیں نا. اے آئی کا بھی پتہ ہی نہیں ہے ان کو کیا ہے کیا نہیں ہے. کوئی کرپٹو کر رہا ہے, کوئی اے آئی کر رہا ہے, کوئی کچھ کر رہا ہے, وہ بھی ہوتی رہیں گی. مگر میرے خیال میں جو ہیومینٹی ریلیٹڈ ایشو ہے نا, اور جو ہمارا ایتھوس, جو اگر if we want to change the ethos of the country, this will only come through educational institutions, well run educational institutions, and run for a purpose. You go ask کہ پرپز کیا ہے تمہارا اسکول کا, they don't know. کتنے بچوں کو پڑھانا ہے, لائف میں یہ پرپز تو نہیں ہوتا نا, پرپز تو بگر دین دیٹ ہوتا ہے. ہم لوگ ہمیشہ کہتے ہیں ہم نے جو ہے نا ان کی گیم چینج کرنی, وی وانٹ ٹو چینج دا گیم آف دیئر فیملیز. جو ہمارے پاس بچے آتے ہیں, جو اس کی فیملی کی پریزنٹ گیم ہے نا, یہ بچہ جا کے اپنی فیملی کی گیم چینج کرے. I had a child who came to see me one day, many years ago. وہ actually, he came to LUMS. And then he was selected in their agriculture, some agriculture internationally funded program, and he went to the US as a agriculture ambassador. So he came to the school and he wanted to see me, and he said that I got an opportunity and I have studied in this school. So I want to talk to the students so that I can tell them how they can go in a similar program. تو وہ بڑا اچھا واک کر کے آیا, بڑا پلیزنٹ سا بچہ, میں نے بٹھایا. میں نے کہا اچھا تو وہ آپ کی فیملی کیا کرتی ہے. I asked him what does your father do. تو اس نے کہا اسکول بس, he's a school bus driver here in Crescent. تو میں نے کہا اچھا. बड़ा वेल बिहेव्ड एंड ठीक ठाक ग्रूम। तो उसने कहा जी मैं फिर यहाँ से आई वेंट टू गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज एंड आई डिडंट हैव मनी टू बाय अ बाइसिकल। तो फिर मैं वॉक करके मैं इधर नज़दीक ही रहता था, आई वाज लिविंग अलोन, आई यूज्ड टू वॉक देयर। तो वो हमारे यहाँ से पढ़ा है, लम्स गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज गया, लम्स आया, बाहर चला गया, अब चेंज द गेम ऑफ हिज फैमिली। So there are so many of हमारे पुराने स्टूडेंट्स हैं, दे हैव फैमिली की गेम चेंज की है उन्होंने। हमारे स्कूल ऑफ म्यूजिक से भी देयर इज अ गर्ल फ्रॉम आवर स्कूल ऑफ म्यूजिक who is daughter of a rickshaw driver and she is now actually जो पाकिस्तान आइडल के प्रोग्राम हो रहे हैं उसमें she appeared in that program and she is on her way to become a, a, a good singer, already recognized singer, she'll make good money out of it. ये आतिफ मियाँ who is knocking at the door of Nobel Prize of economics for economics, our student, 12 साल हमारे पास पढ़ के गया। Last chief secretary of Punjab was our student, passed away recently. तो वो गेम चेंज हुई है, पीपल चेंज। तो हम हमारा पर्पस अगर कोई पूछता हम यही कहते हैं कि हमने उनकी फैमिली की गेम चेंज कर स्टूडेंट की।
I think that that really speaks to the duty of care in education. You know, all of the things that you're speaking about, you know, the parent academies, the health, the care for the community, the care for the development of the country through your programs really speak to the duty of care that we have as educators. We have a tea afterwards. I'm hoping you'll be able to just stop for about 15 minutes for tea, so people can ask you their questions in person. The program is completed for today, but I'm hoping people will be able to have a chance to talk to you and ask their questions. But before we finish, we would like to give you a very small token of our appreciation. If everyone can give him a round of applause, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciated your
नहीं, thank you,
time.
my pleasure.
Yes.
Actually coming back to LUMS is like coming to home.
Yes, yes. It's such a pleasure to have you here. We really appreciate everything. Thank you. I hope many of you will stop for tea and have a chat, Mr. Altaf, and have a chat. Thank you. So you will show him out to the child, get him some tea. Yes, thank you.